Now we're going to use this slide a lot. So in each of the different modules where we cover different components, so the identity service in this case, and we'll also talk about the server appliance and the infrastructure as a service components. But we'll show you this same architecture diagram, and this is kind of going to be the basis of where the different pieces fit in. And I wanted to take it from the perspective of each of those services so you'll get that better idea. Now this is a diagram from some VMware documentation. And I'll actually link to that after. It's a really good document. It talks about best practices and a deployment overview. And I like it because it lists out not only the communication pathways, but the ports as well. So those are what those numbers are, you'll notice on the arrows. It tells you what port it's communicating over. So you'll see here on the left-hand side, we have the identity virtual appliance. And you can see how all the other components talk to it. So through port 7444, you'll notice both the virtual appliance for VCAC, so the server component, also the infrastructure as the service components, those all talk to the identity virtual appliance to communicate and to pass along that two-way authentication. And then you'll also notice we have the connection to Active Directory or Open LDAP here over ports 389 or 636, depending on which service you're using. And that's where it's reaching out to get its external identity information, pull those users and groups down, do the authentication checks. So that's what the workflow looks on that. And then you'll notice the user can also communicate with the identity virtual appliance through port, again, 7444. And that's by way of the web panel. So when you log into the virtual appliance, that initial login page, you do it over SSL, so port 443, but it ends up forwarding along the authentication information over to the identity virtual appliance. So that's kind of how the flow of that authentication looks, and we'll get more into depth on it. But this is more of an overview to talk about the networking and how the flow looks.